The rise of the Industrial Revolution and modernization brought about many changes in the 20th century. Although many of them were good changes, the abuse of new technologies created resulted in destruction, death, and sickness through the First and Second World Wars. The modernist approach to a new way of life was concerned with a healthy living lifestyle, often related to sunshine, the beach, exercise, and where they lived. Many people were concerned about appearing to have a healthy body. Countries used certain features and races to be the true meaning or standard of being part of that nationality, promoting generosity to those who did not fit the criteria. The body was also seen as a machine. Photography such as Max Dupain captured these body ideals from that time period and helped build a sense of Australian identity. Some of these modernist values can still be seen today, but constant rejection by creators in this digital era such as Laura Duvet raises awareness to body positivity and encourages people to be themselves, no matter the race, or sexual orientation, or size. Max Dupain was an Australian modernist photographer born in Sydney in 1911, mostly known for his work The Sunbaker in 1937. Dupain was fond of the arts from a young age, which led him to drop out of school as he discovered the world of photography. His curiosity to step outside the box in photography and experiment with different techniques won him many prizes as he grew, eventually going through extensive training with Cecil Bostock for 3 years. At the same time, he was studying art at Julian Ashton's Sydney Art School, where thereafter he opened up his own studio. This was a prime time for Dupain's growth as the Great Depression's impact on Australia had left for a need for advertising and various types of photography to recover. Dupain's work consisted of mostly human beings with their bodies as a symbol of perfection and corruption, as well as architecture. He was the son of George Dupain, an advocate for physical education in Australia who believed in improving the country through eugenics. Although Dupain did not explicitly confirm his views on the topic, his upbringing can also be seen in the type of works he produced, predominantly featuring sculpted and nearly nude bodies of a white race, the ideal healthy Australian. Most of his settings also included outdoor sceneries that were seen as healthy, since there was a lot of sunlight and fresh air. After the destruction World War II caused, people became more concerned with being healthy and repairing the damage that the war caused. They wanted to create a utopia. Modernization had made many Australians fatigued during the interwar period. People were encouraged to go out and get healthier under the sun, be out in open spaces, and have fresh air. Modernism was seen as design for the social good. It also created an idea of what it meant to be an ideal Australian that surrounded itself around beach culture, being white, having blonde hair, blue eyes, and tan skin. Dupain captured the values of modernist photography by utilizing sunlight, shadows, outdoor spaces, exploring new techniques, and showcasing people that were seen as ideal Australians. He was inspired by sculpted Greek bodies after being raised with his father's view on physical education. This can be seen in a variety of his photographs, such as at Newport. In his series featuring nude women at sand dunes, he showed modernist healthy body values by capturing the rawness of modern life, featuring white women in outdoor sceneries, reiterating the healthy living lifestyles they had. Another way modernity was shown in his photographs was by capturing both men and women enjoying life, with all the new changes that were brought to their lives, ranging from their revealing bathing suits in sunbaking by the wall, to portraying the perfect Australian life in radio advertisements in Untitled, listening to Stromberg Carlson Radio. He achieved this by photographing a well-dressed woman relaxing on her sofa, living in a seemingly Art Deco-inspired apartment, listening to an expensive-looking radio, implying that this could be the perk of the best life one could live. This was important during that period of time since Australia was getting out of an economic depression, thus attracting more people to spend their money on new technologies to improve the economy. The creation of smaller and portable film cameras gave Dupain the freedom to shoot anywhere and anytime he wanted, without having to carry a heavy setup. This made it easier for him to capture the rawness of contemporary Australian life, as well as its beach culture. Dupain enjoyed the art of photomontage, being influenced by Man Ray, and had a unique photographing technique. He played a lot with textures, fabrics, and used light to his advantage in his portraits. Jean with Wire Mesh is a great example of his incorporating textures and shadow play on his portraits. Being able to reach that level of contrast of shadow and light while making her look as natural as possible was a challenge not many photographers could achieve during that period. Throughout the late 20th century and early 21st century, the way people saw the world changed. The rules changed for design and photography as the postmodernism era came about. People no longer followed the idea of form follows function. Culture and identity became more crucial. The idea of finding a utopia was left behind and rejected following any rules that came from modernism. The rise of social media in the 21st century has also made it easier for a simple image to reach thousands in a matter of seconds and make an impact. Social media can be used between people of similar interests and ideas to have conversations about racial differences, pop culture, political issues, and personal experiences. As a result, diversity, inclusivity, and representation has become easily accessible in media. Laura Duvet is a Melbourne-based photographer that bases her works on people of all sizes, races, and sexualities. Like Dupain, her love for photography stemmed from a young age. She adopts the ideas of modernist photography as she plays with the abstraction of the body, playing with curves, manipulating images, and double exposure. However, as an individual, Duvet rejects modernist ideas regarding beauty and the human body as she breaks out of societal norms regarding queer, plus-sized, and people of color. Duvet's motto is individuality always, which goes in line with modernist approach to always be original and be experimental. In current days, some of the societal body expectations from the past are still very present. Growing up in the 21st century, it is our job to be aware of some of these toxic expectations and break away from them. In recent times, more people have started to have these conversations openly and learn to accept their true selves. Similarly, Duvet follows that idea by helping to break the controversy of the perfect body in her work and shares it with others that have grown up with similar experiences as her, showing how much representation matters. She creates captivating compositions and brings up conversations about them. What's beautiful about her work is that it surrounds itself around the topic of being femme and the sensuality that comes with it, fighting against what used to be the female and masculine stereotype in society. In this image, she shares that idea featuring her model poised up against a statue, playing with the shadows and highlighting their femininity, similarly doing the same thing in figure 10, where she captures her model with shadow play and utilizing textures like how Dupain does. As previously stated, Duvet shares the same mindset as Dupain in terms of showing the reality of life at the current moment, being original and exploring new techniques. As stated by Loredana Isabella, Max Dupain had a mantra of modern photography must do more than entertain. It must incite thought and by its clear statements of actuality, cultivate a sympathetic understanding of men and women and the life they live and create. Duvet follows an abstract way of photographing her models. This photograph represents a similar composition to Dupain's The Two Girls. This goes in line with the modernist photography values, often upscaling certain parts of the body and abstracting it, giving a lot of room for interpretation. By sharing her work, she creates a more accepting environment for humans around her and shows the world that there is so much more to life than to fit into a standard set by society. In conclusion, both photographers are quite similar yet distinct in their values, exploration, and philosophy. Dupain's being an advocate for portraying modern Australian life, whereas Duvet is breaking the rules and representing those that were seen as outcasts before. They both have certain modernist qualities they follow. The outcome of their works are different yet still make an impact. As the internet grows and people become more aware and accepting of different body types, it will be interesting to see how photography grows and if modernist photography values will still be seen in the future.